Let me ask you something. How many times have you tried to make a change in your lifestyle only to find yourself back where you've started? Maybe you've started a new diet or exercise plan with the best of intentions, but after a few weeks or even just a few days, it feels too overwhelming, maybe too restrictive, or just maybe unsustainable. You're not alone. For so many people, the idea of creating a lasting change feels like climbing a mountain with no clear path to the top. The truth is that making a sustainable lifestyle change isn't easy, and there are some common struggles that almost everybody faces. And that's what I want to talk about in this video, because understanding these challenges is the first step to overcoming them. If we haven't met before, I'm Neris and I'm an NHS GP and the founder of the Lifestyle Clinic. I created this clinic because I was frustrated with the limits of the 10-minute NHS appointment. There's never enough time to give people the education and support that they truly need to improve their health. I wanted to create a space where we could focus on long-term solutions, not just quick fixes, help people take back control of their health in a way that's empowering and sustainable. At the Lifestyle Clinic, I work with people who are ready to make meaningful changes to their health, but feel stuck, overwhelmed, or unsure of where to start. My goal is to give you the tools, the knowledge and support you need to make changes that will last long term, not just for a few weeks, but for the rest of your life. That's what I want to discuss in this video. So let's start with that all or nothing mindset. This is one of the biggest mistakes people make, is falling into this all or nothing trap. You might feel like you have to do everything perfectly, cut out all sugar, exercise every day, stick to a flawless routine. But life doesn't work like that, does it? Things come up, work deadlines, family commitments, or just the sheer exhaustion of trying to do too much too fast. And when you can't keep up with perfection, it's easy to feel like you failed and give up entirely. This all or nothing mindset is one of the biggest barriers to sustainable change because it sets you up for burnout. The reality is, progress is not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. Small, manageable steps are what lead to big, lasting results. The second is overwhelm from too much information. Another common struggle is that feeling of overwhelmed by the sheer amount of information out there. One day you're told to follow low carb, next is intermittent fasting, and the next is eating 6 meals a day. You read articles, watch videos, scroll through social media, only to end up more confused than when you started. It's hard to know what's right for you, for where you are, for your conditions, and this information can leave you overwhelmed or paralysed, even knowing where to begin. When you're bombarded with conflicting advice, it's tempting to jump from one approach to the next, hoping for a quick fix. But this constant switching makes it impossible to build the consistency needed for real progress. The third is the lack of time and energy. There's always the challenge of time, isn't there? Or rather the lack of it. Between work, family and everything else life throws at you, it can feel like there's no room to prioritise your health. Maybe you've even told yourself, I'll start next week, or when I retire, or when things calm down. Maybe you feel like once I have the energy to cook, once I have the energy or the weather changes to go for a long walk. The problem is life really calms down. And waiting for the perfect time often means waiting forever. The key is to find small, manageable changes that fit into your life as it is right now, not the ideal version of what you're hoping to be like in the future. The fourth mistake, if you like, is lack of support or accountability. So this feeling like you're doing it alone. Maybe your family doesn't understand why you're trying to make changes, or they're not on board with eating healthier meals. Or perhaps you've tried to make changes in the past but didn't have anyone to hold you accountable. So it was easy to slip back into old habits. Support and accountability, I think, are crucial for success. When you've got somebody cheering you on, somebody to celebrate your wins, to help you navigate challenge, it makes all the difference. That's why community and connection are such powerful tools for creating sustainable change. And the fifth is focusing on the short term. This is so common, and it's not thinking ahead. So finally, one of the most common mistakes is focusing on the short-term results, and it's easy to get caught up in the idea of losing weight quickly, of seeing immediate changes in your blood sugar. But when the focus is only on the short term, the quick wins, it often leads to drastic, unsustainable changes that are impossible to maintain in the long run. When those quick results start to slow down as they invariably do, it can feel really disheartening and many people give up altogether. The key to changes that last is shifting your mindset from a short-term fix to long-term habits that support your health for years to come. And if any of those struggles sound familiar, you're not alone. These are challenges I hear about all the time from people who are trying to improve their health and manage their blood sugar. But here's the good news. These struggles aren't roadblocks. They're just stepping stones. So by understanding what's been holding you back, you can start to make changes that actually stick. So how would we overcome these? Let's start with a foundation. Small, consistent habits. It's so easy to feel like you have to do everything at once. Cut out sugar, exercise, completely change your diet. But remember, this leads to burnout. Instead, focus on one change at a time. These small steps, they may seem insignificant on their own, but we're thinking over weeks and months and they really add up to big results. For example, instead of overhauling your entire diet, start by just adding vegetables to your meals each day, or maybe commit to a 10-minute walk after dinner. That's manageable. And because it doesn't feel overwhelming, you're more likely to stick with them. Consistency beats perfection every single time. So can you try one of those over the next few weeks and then maybe build to improve over the coming months? It is not just about what you eat or how much you exercise. You've got to find balance across all areas of your life. And here's how I would approach it. So the first is diet. So focusing on real whole foods that nourish your body. Think colourful vegetables, healthy fats, high quality protein. And don't forget to enjoy your food. Healthy eating doesn't have to be a punishment, it doesn't have to be bland or boring. The second thing I do is to find movement that you enjoy, yeah? So whether it's walking, swimming, yoga, dancing, the best form of exercise is the one that you want to do. But again, start really small and build up as you go. The third is to think about your mindset. It's the glue that holds everything together. Again, don't aim for perfection. Focus on progress. Celebrate small wins and remind yourself that every positive choice is a step towards that goal. And if you can balance those three areas, you create a lifestyle that supports your health in a much more sustainable way. But let's talk about the obstacles that we all face. Time. If you feel like you don't have time, you've got to start small. 5-minute stretch, prepping one healthy meal, or swapping out one sugary drink for water is good. Remember, you don't actually need hours. You just need consistency every day. Now, motivation is another thing that holds us back because it can come and go. And this is why building habits becomes really important. Set yourself up to succeed by creating routines where the healthy choice becomes the automatic one. For example, laying out your workouts or trainers the night before, putting them in an obvious place, or just keeping healthy snacks within reach. The lack of support is another barrier. So if your family isn't on board, focus on leading by example. Share your goals with them. Explain why these changes are important to you. Over time, they may well join you on the journey, but if not, find support groups locally, online, offline, wherever. Barriers are actually part of the process, and it's finding strategies to overcome them that really lead to leaps in reaching your goals. So making changes on your own can feel overwhelming, which is why community and accountability are so powerful. When you're surrounded by people who understand your journey and your goals, you do feel supported and encouraged. And when you have someone to check in with, whether it's a coach, a friend, or a group, you're way more likely to stay on track. And that is absolutely one of the main reasons I created the Blood Sugar Mastery Programme, because it's not just about giving you that knowledge and tools to improve your blood sugar. It's about connecting you with a supportive community of others on that same route, and the accountability, of course. So we would celebrate wins, navigate challenge, and keep moving forward. So if you'd like some more information, to see more videos, blogs, or even download our resources, then head over to the website to find out more.